Poltergeists in the east, demons in the west. Ghosts, they're everywhere. My name is Philip Letz, and this is Paranormouth. Today we'll be taking a look in and around Bournemouth, in all of its haunted attics and alleys. And later on we'll be bringing in some guests who will hopefully help me get in touch with the paranormal myself. Ever since I was young, I've had a fascination for everything out of the ordinary. Some might call it paranormal. My co-host Phyllis, on the other hand, is a bit of a skeptic. That's why I have sent her out to visit some locations in Bournemouth to meet some people who will hopefully help me convince her that the world isn't as plain as it might seem. Now let's switch over to Phyllis, who is at one of the most famous sites in Bournemouth, the grave of Mary Shelley, the writer of Frankenstein. So let's take a look at that right now. Good luck, Phyllis.
My name is Phyllis, and right now we are at one of the most famous sites of Bournemouth, Mary Shelley's grave, who we know of the famous novel Frankenstein, and Philip has sent me out here to talk to the head priest Ian Terry, who's gonna talk about his take on life and death and the afterlife. So right now we're going to talk about the afterlife, which is for me only seen in Hollywood movies. And right now we have Ian Terry here. Thank you for having us. Can you say something about how Mary Shelley took her take on afterlife in Frankenstein?
Delighted to. Mary Shelley had the concern that most people have, that is death the end of everything? And she wondered if you could take a dead body and revive it by putting an electric current through it. And then it went several stages further, so that she believed that the body could actually not just jerk with the electricity, but come back to life and be, you might say, revivified with personality.
What is your understanding about the afterlife?
Oh, I believe that the body wears out, the spirit goes on. And the spirit carries on really in another mode of being.
Where does it go?
Oh, okay, into a mode of being that isn't limited by space and time. Because the body is spatially limited and limited by time. It can only be in one place at one time. And it has beginning and end, cause and effect.
Well, is there like a possibility we can get in touch with it?
There's a possibility we can get in touch with it. The church understands that as being a bad idea. I think the church believes that the most fruitful focus of life is on other living people.
Well, thank you, Ian Terry, for having us.
It has been a huge pleasure. I hope you'll come again. I suspect you won't. But I hope you'll have happy memories of this occasion.
So, that was my talk with Ian. He has some interesting thoughts on afterlife. So let's see what Philip has to say about it. And let's get back to the studio.
Here with me in the studio is Steve Hounsom, a true tarot expert who is all too familiar with all kinds of mystical and spiritual practices. Hello.
Hi, Philip.
How are you, Steve?
I'm good, thank you. Good to be here.
I'm curious, what do you generally do in your profession?
Well, it is a whole mixture of stuff. Obviously, there's tarot readings. So I see clients on a one-to-one basis. They come see me at home, and I provide tarot readings. I always make the emphasis that it's more on the therapeutic side than future prediction, but there's always a bit of both in that. But we always have lots going on in our home as well, from lots of different points of view. We teach tarot, we teach various courses, healing, we do a past life course, there's all sorts of courses. We run monthly groups, different meditation groups, spirit communication groups, all sorts of things. as well as producing tarot decks. I've done 2 tarot decks, 9, I think, books now. I lose count. All kinds of things, meditation CDs. So there's a whole load of different stuff that we do.
And what sparked the interest exactly for tarot, specifically for this?
Oh, well, for tarot, it's something I got into in my teens, really, but I don't know why. It just kind of happened, you know? It's one of those things. A lot of people have a family background, you know, they inherit decks from their parents or grandparents. But I didn't. I went out when I was, I think, 14, brought my first deck, read some books, did a lot of courses, did all this stuff. And I've just followed my own interest with it, and here I am,
And
35 odd years later.
Did it also affect your personal life after you started doing it?
Well, it affected it, yes, because it's part of it. You know, it's not something that I can sort of separate into boxes, say a personal life over here and a spiritual life. The two is very integrated, so it all becomes part and parcel of who I am and how I live and what I do.
And do you try to avoid actually reading maybe friends or family members?
I don't really try and avoid it, but it becomes, the more you know somebody, the harder it is. It's like, say if I was to try and do a reading for my wife, as an example, I can't do it. I don't know what to say. I'll put some cards out and I'm like, I don't know what they mean. That process doesn't happen because there's no objectivity, and you've got to be real, you've got to be honest. So I can't do it for people if they're really close.
And did you ever experience anything that you might label as paranormal, maybe like a short anecdote?
Oh yeah, lots really. They kind of keep happening, again, part and parcel of what we do. I do remember once that was kind of quite funny because it was a mystery to me. I was doing a psychic party, like a tarot party. I'm doing readings with cards, but also mediumship for people. And the first one I did, I sat down and I can't remember who I brought through, but all the messages I was giving, the person was taking, yep, absolutely, everything is spot on, that's all fine. And then throughout this reading for this person, I kept getting the Daisy Girl song. I don't know if you know it yet. You know, Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer.
Yeah.
Kept getting this in my head, and I don't know what this is. But I told her, I said, I don't know why, but I'm getting this. And she was like, no, don't know what that's about. Okay, so we left that. I did all the readings, everybody took everything. Did the last reading, same thing again, this damn Daisy Girl song, you know, kept going in my head. And that person couldn't take it either, so everything else was great. On the way home, you know, my wife came and collected me, and on the way home, how did it go? Oh, it's all great, but I kept getting this Daisy song. Nobody could take it. Don't know what that was about. She started laughing. It was her mother-in-law, who I never met. She had passed, sadly, before I got a chance to meet her.
So somehow, yeah, you got in contact
Yeah,
with
her
her.
husband, his name is Dave, but his nickname was Daisy, and she used to sing this to him. I had no idea of this.
That's so interesting, and I'm really curious if I'm going to experience something like that, because later on you're going to help us with the reading.
Yeah.
But my co-host Phyllis will shortly be joining us in the studio, but firstly we'll have a look at the experience learning about how spirituality works and how it can be used in therapeutic purposes. She will be visiting Bournemouth's very own spiritualistic church. So in this upcoming clip, we will see how Phyllis talked with the president, Patricia Mackin.
After talking to Ian about his perception on life after death, we will be visiting Bournemouth Spiritualist Church to talk about life, death and everything out of the ordinary. We'll be talking to Patricia, and let's see if she can convince me that our world is not as normal as it seems.
Hello, lovely to see you and welcome to
Hello.
Bournemouth Spiritualist Church.
Thank you. My name is Phyllis.
I'm Patricia, lovely to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
What would you say was out of the ordinary, or what you would call slightly paranormal? Did something ever happen to you like that?
I've had a glimpse of the spirit world in that it's strange enough, years ago when my little dog died, I was very, very attached to her, that's what it is, and I thought it was a dream, but I now realise it was astral travelling, which is we can do from when in our sleep state we can go to the spirit world.
It is called astral traveling.
Travelling, yes.
When you were astral traveling, I'm just wondering, where was your physical appearance then?
Well, our spirits can leave our bodies, and you know, if you have a lovely dream and you think, oh, that was so beautiful, you've probably been in the spirit world.
So let's talk about the members. What would you say would be the most memorable moment with one of your members?
Strange enough, the Catholic priest where I was said that a lady came in and said, could you rid me of this man who's following me? And he said, well, where's the man? And she said, sitting there. And he, of course, couldn't see anything. So just to placate her, he had this, the Catholic Church, they have holy water, and he flicked holy water in the direction of this chair, and he said this terrible hissing and stench came up, and she said, oh, thank you, he's gone. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been lovely. Thank you.
So, I had my talk with Patricia today, which was very enlightening. I'm not becoming a spiritualist tomorrow, or there's any spirits behind me, but still I enjoyed it, and I get the feeling why people come to a spiritualist church, because it was really nice and heartwarming. So, thank you, Patricia.
Hello and welcome back. Here with me in the studio is Phyllis. How are you, Phyllis?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here.
Do you know what we're gonna do today?
I might have an idea.
So Steve hopefully is gonna perform a reading on us, but I'm gonna let you do because you know it better than me. If you can explain how it works.
Yeah, well, I should make clear really to start with that usually it's a much longer process. Obviously, we're live and we haven't got much time. So I'm going to do like a quick snapshot, maybe with just 3 cards. Usually I'd let the client pick however many cards they kind of want to pick. So having given them a good shuffle, I've always got a pack of cards in my hand. I'm always shuffling the cards. It's force of habit. So I'm just going to fan them out like that for you, Phyllis, and invite you to dive in wherever you want to and pick 3 cards for me.
3 cards?
Yep.
Okay, I want this one.
Okay.
I want this one.
That's great.
And I want the last one.
Okay.
Is this the last one? Yeah.
That's cool. And we'll keep them in the order that you pick them because that's, again, a relevant part of it. Okay. A lot of tarot readers will arrange cards, a specific number of cards in a particular spread, as it's called, or a pattern or a layout. But I tend not to because I find for my more therapeutic way of working, it kind of works better. Now, where we've got the cards here, we've got 3 cards. So the titles of the cards, so you know we've got the World, the 5 of Cups, and this is the Cup 7. So the very fact that 2 out of 3 of your cards are from the Suit of Cups, this is all to do with our feelings and how we are. And for you, that says that it's about how you feel that's most important. You're somebody that's always going to be led by your heart rather than your head. We're generally in one camp or the other. You're very much in the heart. And you're somebody who's kind of very driven. You don't like failing at anything at all. You know, for you, you will keep going until you've succeeded with something. And knowing just half of something about a subject isn't enough. You need to know everything. You want the whole kit and caboodle. And whatever you're doing in life, you want to get to the top and be the best. No half measures for you. But that World card is actually a good sign that you can actually achieve those ambitions because you've got it in your heart, you've got the passion.
That's optimistic.
It is optimistic, but the problem for you with this Cups 5 is that sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. Because if you look at this card here, the character on the card, he's sort of looking down and he's looking at what's gone and what's past the spilt cups. So you need to turn around and look at the 2 cups that are upright. Yeah. In other words, keep focus on the positive. You know,
maybe I should.
It's all too easy for you sometimes to talk yourself out of stuff, to look at the negative kind of thing. And also keeping a grip on how things are, not how you imagine them to be or wish they were or want them to be. Cup 7 is a card about discerning reality from illusion. So for you, that positive slant on stuff is always really, really important, and making sure that your heart's in something. If you get discouraged by something, you lose sort of faith and trust in yourself, and it all goes.
Steve, you got me really excited now, and I'm curious, can I maybe have like a really short fortune reading by any chance?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, really, really quickly, so we could do maybe a couple of cards or something.
Yes,
and
perfect.
See. So we'll give the cards a really kind of quick shuffle here. Whoops, one's turned over. This tends to happen. As practiced as I am as shuffling, they do that. So again, you dive in, Philip, and just pick, what, 2 cards?
2, perfect.
Okay.
This one.
Yep.
And this one.
Okay, that is cool. So again, we'll get those out of the way just for the sake of ease. That was the first one that you picked. So we've got the Star and more cups as well. We got the Six of Cups. The Star is a card that's about our wishes, our hopes, our dreams, fantasies sometimes. It's just kind of similar. There's probably a lot of similarities between the two of you actually, in that again, both led by the heart. This suggests that you've got some specific dreams, some ideas that you might need to be working at bringing those down to earth and making them real. All too easy to live in a bit of a fantasy world for you sometimes. So keeping that reality and so on. And you know, this card is a card about equal give and takes. The number 6, the numbers in tarot are important. Number 6 is the kind of caring and sharing card. So for you emotionally, this says, you know, there could be some romance kind of in the air. It sounds like a real cliche for a tarot reader to say, but it's what's in that card. But I get the feeling you haven't really either declared this there or you need to do a bit more of it. It's putting yourself a bit out there emotionally and recognizing that on that emotional romantic level you can actually get what you want.
I see myself for this, and maybe we can talk after the show because the time won't allow us so much, but thank you so much for being here, and we'll be switching to a short commercial break.
You look like an employee of Brady University of Applied Sciences. Am I right? Did you know that e-cars are available for BUAS employees to rent free of charge? All you need to do is download the app, validate your driver's license, and make a reservation.
On the road again!
These cars are also available for personal travel at a low cost. Just go to the employee portal for more information on how to register, validate, and make a reservation. And start driving electric today.
Say cheese! Onweerstaanbaar voor alle kaas- en pizza-liefhebbers. 3 rijkelijk met kaas belegde pizza's, zoals de Double Cheese and Onion met Beemsterkaas. Nu tijdelijk vanaf €4,95 bij afhalen. Domino's, die is van mij. Say cheese!
No, not really problems. I mean, every film brings challenges and difficulties.
Steeds meer jongeren brengen een groot deel van hun tijd door op social media.
Does is that she actually helps students. I go for it.
Welcome back, everyone. Earlier we discussed and explored all kinds of paranormal topics, ranging from the spiritual to the religious, and after all that, I want to know, do you still maybe are a bit of a skeptic? You don't truly believe it yet?
No, well, I want to believe it, but I haven't seen any real physical proof yet, so...
The thing is, you're lucky,
Yeah.
because we have here Chasing the Unknown. Can you maybe then tell us more about Chasing the Unknown?
Hey, we're a paranormal team that was set up in 2014. We started off with just me and my wife, and Dave joined us, I think 2-3 years now. And since then we've been investigating the paranormal.
Ah, so you recently joined David, actually, because in the castle, in the video that we'll show later, I saw that you're explaining most of the equipment.
I'm an experienced paranormal investigator, but I've recently joined the team.
Can you maybe tell us more about the equipment that we use actually?
Well, you'll see on the film later the actual equipment, but one of the ones we do use is a digital camera, a little bit like this one. But we take out the filter that's inside. So we go to full spectrum, what we call full spectrum. Whereas these ones have infrared and ultraviolet limited.
And this one we didn't use in the video?
This one I used in the film.
We did?
Actually used.
Okay.
But this is just a normal camera. I didn't use a full spectrum because it's daytime. I could have done, but I forgot the bag that had it in.
We also had, I saw the motion capture camera.
The SLS, that's what we call them, structured light sensor. That camera is used by a lot of the famous investigators. And how it works, I couldn't tell you. Well, I could, but it's not too long.
To really see all of this equipment in use, I took Philip into the field with me after he challenged me to experience the full length of what our investigators here generally do. So together we visited Highcliffe Castle.
Alison, could you maybe tell me more about why Highcliffe Castle was the location that we had to visit, that was the best for an investigation?
Highcliffe Castle's got a big history, so many owners, and in the 1950s it was a convalescent for a children's home, and then after that was the monks had 3 monks bought it. But the stories go that there is a grey lady and possibly some children. Children could be from previous owners.
Darren, would you think that the girl, Lily, I spoke to in the video, would she be from the children's home?
We believe so, because she was really excited to interact with you.
Yeah.
She was quite open as well. She
said
wanted
some
to be
awful
seen.
things, but
and well, to you she did, yes, but she wanted to marry you. If I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
rightly.
yeah. There was some flirting going around. Yeah.
And she went and spoke to Dave in the next room as well.
And I know that before the castle there was the Highcliffe House, it was called, right?
Yeah.
And then they built it next to that, the castle. So initially
it was built on part of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I wasn't aware of that.
No,
So maybe she was from there.
It was next to it.
Back end of it was on.
Literally, it's about a quarter, if anything. But most of it
And
was
there
at
is
the...
some of the house still there, which is now the Lord Bute restaurant, the only part that is left of the original house.
Thank you, Alison, for explaining. But why just talk about it when we can show it? Right now, we'll be taking a look at how the two of us experienced our investigation adventures and if we were able to find anything. Let's take a look. We're here at the Highcliffe Castle, where in the 60s there was a big fire. A lot of paranormal stuff is apparently happening here. Phyllis, are you maybe a bit scared, a bit excited?
Do you think I am?
I think you are a bit, but you don't want to admit it.
Could be.
Let's find out.
I'm not.
Let's
Well,
meet,
definitely not more scared than you are. So.
Sure, okay.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Scared or not, as we got a good look at the castle, we all realized where all of the rumors were coming from about this supposedly haunted place. Both through its looks and its history, this seemed like the perfect place to try and make contact with any paranormal presence.
Can you please explain why we're at Highcliffe Castle now?
We're here tonight to do an investigation, following up on stories that I've heard throughout the paranormal field. The Highcliffe Castle is well known famous for its hauntings.
And there have been other groups investigating already here?
There's been several, but quite a long time ago, yeah.
And the things that they've seen, could that be a connection with the history of this castle?
Possibly. I mean, before this building we're in now was here, there was another building previously before this.
So the
and
things
then this was built on the site.
Yeah, the things we might have seen or feel could be from the house before.
It could be. I mean, spirits go off throughout the years, so they could be from anything from the wars right the way back from people that lived here.
With the stories and history behind the castle backing up our claim for any potential paranormal activity, it was now up to the paranormal investigation equipment to test our suspicions. So, David, I've seen that you brought a few equipments with you. Could you by any chance explain me what this does?
Right, this is a mel meter. I can't touch it too close because otherwise I'll set it off. And it's got a field called a REM field. This field is so that if anything comes close to it, it will go off. For example.
Can I try it by any chance?
Yeah. Just put your hand. Obviously, the more closer you get, the better.
That's amazing. As we grew more familiar with the equipment and spent more time in the castle, our curiosity grew, until finally it was time for Phyllis to put her beliefs to the test and engage with the operation.
What am I supposed to feel?
Go on, use your energy, reach out, touch her hand. She won't harm you. Don't be frightened. I'm sensing child.
It's a child?
If you're a little boy, raise your hand in the air for me, please. If you're a little girl, can you raise your hand in the air for me, please? Please, my hand up. There's a little girl.
It's a little girl.
It's a little girl.
It's a little girl?
They're talking to a little girl.
Oh, I love children.
After concluding our investigation and saying goodbye to the investigators, Phyllis might still be a skeptic. Personally, I've grown more intrigued by the entities we've encountered within this haunted castle. Five on live television, that's never awkward, right?
That was really nice.
Let's review everything. Spiritual church, you talk with Patricia, right?
Mm-hmm.
You talk with Father Ian at St. Peter's Church, and then we went on a paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
Do you now maybe have some doubts that maybe there is something out there?
Not doubts, just my perspective changed, that it's not freaky or weird. It's actually really nice and positive.
So there is an opening, at least there's a positive. Do you think you'll research about it more? Maybe you're into it now?
Maybe, with the tarot cards, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That was optimistic. I need optimism in my life.
And with Patricia, you said that you might see her again, right? Visit her at the church. Are you
She
actually
said,
gonna know?
well, no, but maybe.
Well, unfortunately, we are at the end of the show. I would like to thank you all for watching.
We hope you enjoyed it. Take care.
You look like an employee of Brady University of Applied Sciences. Am I right? Did you know that e-cars are available for BUAS employees to rent free of charge? All you need to do is download the app, validate your driver's license, and make a reservation.
On the road again!
These cars are also available for personal travel at a low cost. Just go to the employee portal for more information on how to register, validate, and make a reservation, and start driving electric today.
Say cheese! Onweerstaanbaar voor alle kaas- en pizza-liefhebbers. 3 rijkelijk met kaas belegde pizza's, zoals de double cheese en onion met Beemsterkaas. Nu tijdelijk vanaf €4,95 bij afhalen. Domino's, die is van mij. Say cheese!
No, not really problems. I mean, every film brings challenges and difficulties.
Steeds meer jongeren brengen een groot deel van hun tijd door op social media.
Does is that she actually helps students.
For me,